This video was made in collaboration with a Facebook group called Skyrim Guard. If you're on Facebook and you like seeing Skyrim memes and other Skyrim information, check out their Facebook page. Link will be down in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Infinity Break coming at you today with another Elder Scrolls video. Now, how long has it been since Skyrim's come out? 6, 7, 8 years? It's the year 2019 by the time this video is coming out, and it has been out for so long. But what exactly is it about Skyrim that makes it so good? Well, there's a lot of things, but a lot of it is also the fact that some of it is just so iconic and well done. One of those features that is so well done and memorable is the Skyrim Guards.
I'd be a lot warmer and a lot happier with a belly full of mead.
That's right, one of the few things that we're always surrounded by at almost any moment that we're playing through our copies of Skyrim, but we never seem to think about. The Skyrim Guards, they're so iconic, we always hear them. They even give us quests sometimes and little map markers. They have these little funny interactions when you do some interesting stuff around them, and some of them are related to a lot of major quests throughout Skyrim. How much do we know about the Skyrim Guards, and why do we like them so much? Reason number 1. They're just so useful. Now the first thing people are going to say is, how are they useful? Well, I had to say, when's the last time you've seen a guard and said, oh, you're not doing anything? No, the Skyrim Guards are actually pretty useful when it comes to their functions. They help protect towns and other places that they are guarding from any sort of hostile enemies or creatures or anything like vampire attacks or just anything in general that can cause the public any harm. They are always on duty and they're always doing the best that they can. And they always seem to be patrolling or stopping you when you're trying to steal anything.
Go fiddling with any locks around here, we're going to have a real problem.
I know it's a pretty simple answer, but it's true, you can't deny it. I mean, think of the last time a dragon attacked a city. They always seem to jump in with their bow and arrows and swords, and they always seem to be trying to help you with your little endeavor. Wolves come out of the woods near Falkreath, and they always jump to your aid and try to stop the wolves before they can harm you or anybody in the town. And on top of that, when there's an assassin or something that comes to the town to attack you, the guards will come to your aid if you're actually in any sort of trouble. They will notice that you're under attack by someone, and they're causing ruckus in the town, and they will jump to your aid and attack the enemy with you and become your ally. Another thing that they're useful for is pointing out quests. When they're pointing out quests, locations, or other such random information that can actually prove to be useful. When you guys were playing Skyrim for the first time on your first playthrough ever, and you went to Windhelm for the first time, what was the first thing that the guards told you?
Stay away from the Ortino residence. The place is cursed.
It was that Aventus Artino was trying to summon the Dark Brotherhood. You didn't know that, but that was pushing you in the direction of the Dark Brotherhood questline. It gave you a hint if you didn't have any sort of information on hand like your phone or any sort of Wikipedia page or guide with you. You could just follow what the guards were saying and it would lead you to an entirely new questline, all because a guard told you a rumor, and that's it. Same situation when it comes to stuff like the Deadric quest, when it comes to Hircine's quest. They tell you that the blacksmith is trying to look for a dog, and the guard points you in the direction of the blacksmith so you can start the entire quest line. On top of that, you think the Dawnguard quest is actually triggered, or at least can be, by one of the guards talking to you. Of course, a member of the Dawnguard will come look for you eventually anyway, but just knowing that a guard can simply mention it and start a quest altogether is also extremely interesting. And like I said, they don't just have to point out quests, they can point out locations or just other interesting information about the area or town you're in. It's actually really cool that they'll point out stuff like that because it incentivizes you to go out and explore, giving you quest locations and map markers and stuff for caves and dungeons that you can fight through on your free time.
The Eye of Talos was a fine ship, once. Now it lies wrecked off an island just north of here. South of here, and west of the road, lies Kronvanger Cave. Stay away from that cursed place and the vampires that call it home.
Reason number 2. They notice. When I say they notice, I mean they notice. They notice a lot of the stuff that you do in the game. They'll point out really cool features about the world and quests that have happened.
The Empress' cousin Vittoria Vici is getting married soon. The reception will be public. Anyone in Solitude can attend. For a dragon to attack Kynes Grove. Why? Why there? Is no place safe? I have to wonder. What does the Dragonborn do once he's summoned by the Greybeards? Can the Thuan be taught? Like any skill.
They'll point out things like you being a werewolf or you being a vampire. They'll point out things like the skills that you actually manage to invest into, like speech, one-handed, two-handed, heavy armor, light armor, archery.
I have a lot of respect for the Restoration School. Skyrim could use more healers. Don't think you can barter with me like one of those damned shopkeepers. Destruction magic's fine. Just don't go burning down any buildings. Aye, now that's some fine armor. Good old-fashioned steel. You like me, eh? Don't fancy those clunky two-handed weapons.
They'll point all this stuff out. They notice these things. They notice that you're carrying weapons. They notice all these tiny little details that you don't even think about when you're going around the world for hours on end just doing quests back to back. You don't even realize that you're holding a Deadric artifact. You don't realize that you're becoming very good and one-handed at your level 86 and actually continuing to rise through the ranks of the skill tree there. You don't realize that you're able to persuade almost anybody, including the guards, to forget about your crimes. You don't realize these things, but the guards, they notice these things, and they'll happily point them out to you, to the point where you'll look at them and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. Fact of the matter is, the Skyrim guards complimenting you all the time and pointing out these really cool features about you is something that actually makes them very noticeable, very iconic to the player, because, well, they're not just static background characters. They actually point out your accomplishments, your deeds, and that makes the player feel good. It reminds them what they've done so far, and that's a very pleasant and good thing to have when it comes to your background characters, your little side characters in the world, especially when there's so many of them. It makes them feel like there's more of a personality to them because you begin to appreciate that there's something keeping track of what you're doing. Reason number 3. They are living memes. This is probably one of my last and strongest reasons as to why they're so iconic. These Skyrim guards, everything that they say, they're either funny, interesting, useful, or just meme-worthy at this point.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee. We got a nickname for anyone who trifles with us guards here in Windhelm. Suicide. Got to thinking, maybe I'm the Dragonborn. I just don't know it yet.
Now, a lot of the other factors kind of play into how people are able to make them so meme-worthy, but at the same time, just half of the things they say are just hilarious. They say them so often, and they sound so ridiculous that they're just so memorable. They stick with you, and they make you chuckle and smile just a little bit, you know? Now, sometimes what they're saying isn't exactly hilarious. It isn't comedian-type level comedy, but it's the fact that they say it so often. And it's just at some of the most inopportune times that they'll say it. A dragon comes in, kills 3 people. You kill it. You shoot it down with bows and arrows using your Thum. You use magic and ancient weaponry that's been pulled out of a Nordic crypt or something. And at the end of the fight, the people will look at you and they'll be like, I used to be an adventurer like you, and then I took an arrow in the knee. Now, at first you might be like, okay, that's great. That's another voice line that didn't mean to be played right there. But at the same time, when it happens about 10, 20 times, you begin to start noticing it, and you begin to start laughing at it, and you begin to start making memes about it, and then everybody starts laughing at it. And then before you know it, everybody knows this one voice line that was just made as a little one-off joke, but everybody loves it so much and knows it by heart because it keeps happening, and it's just so funny. Moral of the story is, regardless of whether or not you like it, regardless of whether or not you love it or hate it, the Skyrim guards are just something that is going to be a part of Bethesda's history for time to come. Like the Oblivion guards and the guards before them, like the games and the bugs that are always mentioned, the Skyrim guards are just something that you're going to remember. Their lines are always going to ring in your ear when you think of the word Skyrim. And when you think of voice lines and you think of quests, they will always be there, mocking you for someone stealing your sweet roll, always reminding you that they used to be an adventurer like you until they took an arrow in the knee. Well, that's it for this video, guys. This has been Infinity reminding you all to say it with me now. Play well, eat well, and live well, friends. I hope you guys go out there and strive to break infinity.